How you doing? We're here with Jeff Norton from Aesthetic Inc. in California. We're going to do a little interview here and talk to him and see what he's been up to. Hey Jeff.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for stopping by. So for folks who aren't familiar with you, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're about?
Yeah, I'm a portrait artist. I like to do art, travel.
How long have you been tattooing? Well, actually, what year did you start tattooing?
I started tattooing in 2008 and I stopped in 2009 and then began again in 2010.
What was the reason for the break?
I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not, and then found out that I loved it.
What were you doing before you were tattooing?
I was working at some car washes for my dad.
Right on. Did you always have an interest in art?
Yes and no. I've always drawn, but I've never thought I would make a living at it.
What did you think you were going to do? What was your plan?
I really didn't have one until I started tattooing.
How did you break into tattooing? How did you make your way into it?
I drew all 2007. I spent drawing, trying to get better so that I could tattoo, and then once I had an opportunity to do an apprenticeship, I just took it.
Who did you apprentice with?
Josh Hibbard.
I know Josh. He's working at No Hope, No Fear now with James Kern.
Mm-hmm.
How was your apprenticeship?
It was good.
Was it your typical apprenticeship? Did he make you scrub toilets and stuff?
Yes, watch kids, do things like that. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it was good. He taught me a lot.
Do you think that type of apprenticeship is important? In like modern tattooing, not maybe it's not as important as it used to be, or do you feel that it's something that needs to be done?
No, I think it absolutely needs to be done. It kind of puts you in your place, and it's just super important. There's a lot of things to learn that is going to be super hard to learn yourself.
What kind of shop were you in when you first started?
It was like a little street shop. It's horrible.
What kind of work were you doing then?
Mostly like traditional stuff, nothing too crazy. Just your normal flash tattoos.
Do you remember the first tattoo that you did?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
It was a Hanya mask.
How'd it come out?
It came out good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if I think it's good anymore, but at the time it was great, yeah.
Have you seen it? Do you know where it is?
I think, yeah, it's on my cousin.
Oh.
I think I saw it like a year ago. Yeah, probably a year ago. I haven't seen him in a while.
It looks all right?
Eh.
For your first tattoo?
For my first tattoo, it looks all right, I guess, yeah.
How about tattooing on yourself? Have you? What was your first tattoo that you got?
My first tattoo was on my forearm. Some skull-looking thing.
Yeah?
I don't like it anymore. I want to get rid of it. But yeah, I had tattooed myself on my thigh right here when I first got my machines, thinking I would be great. And then that's when I realized, no, I need an apprenticeship.
Oh, I see. So what did you tattoo on yourself?
I have a skull with like a banner underneath it, a heart, and then another skull with some wings.
Did you find it hard to tattoo yourself?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. Yeah, trying to concentrate and then learn what I was doing as I was doing it was almost impossible.
How'd it come out?
Horrible.
You gonna keep it as a souvenir, or do you think you'll laser it?
Probably laser it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got plans?
Plans for laser?
For your leg? You got other?
Oh, no, I never have plans.
Never have plans? I know you recently got tattooed by Jeff Gogue. Was that planned?
I've always wanted to. I've never really tried really hard to until that time. But yeah, I've always wanted to, so I guess, yeah, it was a plan.
So what did he give you? What did you get?
I had a full back dragon that goes from the shoulders to the back of the knee.
I thought you weren't fucking around.
Mm-mm.
How far did you get with it?
I think we're like 11 to 12 hours in. We've got all the line work done, and we've got background shading, and we started some color.
Did you get it done at the shop out west? Have you done a guest spot there?
Yes.
How was your experience there?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Yes. It's off the map, so it's awesome.
What did you enjoy about it?
Just the environment, the shop itself. Obviously Jeff, all the other artists there are great. Yeah.
Did you get some time to talk with Jeff
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? Do you show him your work and stuff?
No.
No?
No. But the last trip I had, he did mention some of my work that he had seen, which was awesome, because he liked it.
Do you do a lot of traveling?
Yes. This last year has been my first year in traveling. I've been doing a lot of traveling this year.
What are some of your plans?
We're going to Italy in a month.
The new Off the Map shop?
Off the Map there. And then we're going back to Grants Pass a couple weeks after that. And as of then, as of now, we don't have any more plans. But it'll probably change.
Do you do conventions?
Yes.
Which ones have you been to?
I did the Evergreen Convention and the Music Convention. Two opposite conventions.
Completely?
Completely.
How are your experiences there?
Good. I definitely enjoyed Evergreen a little bit more. Music was just a little hectic. I didn't know who was there for tattooing and who was there to watch the music.
Right.
So it was just a little hectic for me, especially seeing as that was my second convention.
So you own your own shop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it difficult to be as early in your career as you are and be a shop owner and to try to juggle it all?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like I'm still learning how to do it.
How do you handle it? You have help?
I have help. I have my girlfriend Caitlin, and I have a partner back home that helps. And he's been tattooing for a little bit longer, so I definitely look to him for some advice. But at this point, I think we're picking it up.
Cool. So what are the things that you find you need help with so you can concentrate on your work?
Oh, just dealing with people. That's huge. If I could just come in and tattoo every day, it would be sweet.
Not there yet?
Yeah, not there. I mean, have to deal with people, so.
That's the nature of your job, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't have people, there wouldn't be tattoos to do, right?
No skin.
So you do portraits and things like that? Is that something you're trying to focus on?
Not really. I just started doing them. I was really interested when I first started tattooing and doing them, and now I think they're my least stressful tattoo. It's a little easier for me to do that tattoo as to a traditional tattoo or something like that.
As far as equipment that you use, do you use rotary machines? Do you use coils?
I use rotary. I use the Cheyenne Hawk.
Did you start off that way?
No, I used coils in the beginning.
Why did you make the switch?
I went to the Boston conference, and just about every instructor was using one. And the one that wasn't using one just got one right there, so I figured why not give it a try. What
are the advantages that you found so far?
Oh, it's a lighter machine. It's more consistent. Yeah, it's a lot. My tattoos are getting done a lot faster. People are healing better, so it's a huge advantage.
Do you feel do you need to start with coils to keep a link to tradition?
Yeah, probably. Probably just because it was hard for me to make that switch in any ways, just because I felt like it wasn't real in a way. It was like cheating. But now that I use it, I don't feel that way. I feel like if it produces a better tattoo, why not?
Right. Why do you think that has stuck around so long, that stigma of, coils machines are the real way to do it?
I think tattooers are very stuck in their ways, and when things change, they're afraid of change maybe. I'm not quite sure. I don't know.
I notice it a lot where coil users are very, very adamant about using coils, and they're like, fuck rotaries, I don't want to use those things. And then a lot of times you'll see the switch and they're like, I don't know why I never did it before.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever see a day when coil machines are just an antique collectible?
Maybe. I think there'll always be those people that love the sound and use them well, so I think they'll still be around, but I think it will switch to more rotaries for sure.
I think, from what I've seen, it's like, coming from a construction background, it's people are using pneumatic nailers, and they have been forever. Mm-hmm. I wonder if the guys, the first days were using pneumatic nailers, like, well, I'm not a real carpenter, because they're not using a hammer,
It could be.
It's the correlation I make. Have you ever been to Italy before?
No, I've never been out of the country.
You looking forward to it?
I'm so excited.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You get to do any traveling while you're there?
We're gonna go to Venice and then maybe to Rome now.
Right on.
So other than that, we're just going to stay in a little area for our first trip, not make it too crazy.
How long are you going to be there?
We're going to be there for almost 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's a nice trip.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Super excited.
So what happens at your shop when you're away? Do you have other artists?
Well, I have my partner right now that's there. But other than that, it's mainly just closed.
How do you find clients when you're traveling?
As far as where I'm going?
Yeah.
Most of the time, the shop. I mean, I've done a bunch of guest spots off the map, so they've helped get clients. They've promoted me to get people to see my work, to come to me. Other than that, just post anything I can on Facebook, Instagram, then I'm going to be there.
Do you find social media helpful?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
You have a normal website as well, I'm aware of. That's what we do, websites. Do you handle your own Instagram and Facebook and stuff?
No, Caitlin does all that.
Don't have time for it?
No, it's way too much work for tattooing, and doing all that stuff is too much.
So in your process, do you draw day of, week before? What's your normal process?
I usually like to draw the night before. I get all my ideas together randomly when I have random time. I try to think about it, try to pull references from here and there. And then the night before, it's just like finally time to put it onto paper.
What has been some of your greatest challenges coming up in tattooing?
Art's always a challenge. Getting over fears is a huge challenge. But other than that, I mean, it runs pretty smooth.
What have been some of the greatest benefits that you've had since switching from regular day job to tattooing?
Oh my gosh. People recognize the work I do now instead of me just being another dude out there. It's huge. And then it's amazing. It's taught me a lot.
We both volunteered at a couple of the events that we do. I saw you there a few times. Do you think that helped out at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It helped me gain a relationship with certain people, and it's helped out.
So would you recommend that to other artists that are trying to, make their way into the industry?
Yes. Don't. You're not too cool to help out. That's all I have to say.
Right. Yeah, because I know it can be expensive, you putting yourself out and traveling and stuff like that, but you think it's paid off for you?
Oh yeah. Any money I've ever put back into tattooing for traveling or seminars or any of that has helped so much. It's huge.
So you've taken some seminars? Who have you taken them from?
Let's see. I took a Nick Baxter seminar. I took Jeff Gogue. Bob Tyrrells. I've taken a couple of them. A Nico.
You got a favorite?
Seminar. Jeff, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's less about the application and more about just motivating and inspiring. And it's huge.
I've seen his art core seminar before, and it's great.
Yeah.
It makes you want to get up and go do something immediately.
Right then.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's still held on to me. I think it's been a year now, and I'm still have that fire from that seminar.
That's great. Is there any seminars are you going to continue to take seminars in the future?
Absolutely.
You think that kind of continuing education is important?
Oh, very much. It just gives the tattooer a chance to see something they wouldn't normally see or hear.
Do tattoos hurt?
Yes.
Badly? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you feel about it?
When you're young, it's not as bad, but now that I'm getting older, it's hurts a little bit more. And I would say it's about an 8 right now for me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You better get them done quick, man.
Get them done. Yeah, no, it's bad.
How do you handle a difficult client who might be uncomfortable being tattooed?
I just try to be as easy as I can with them. I don't show them that I'm upset or anything. I try to give them advice on what to do to be a little bit more comfortable, but for the most part, I just tattoo as much as I can.
What do you suggest someone does in preparation before they get tattooed?
Meditate. Definitely meditation has helped me. Just understand why you're getting it, and that'll help too. Eat healthy, drink lots of water, get lots of rest, for sure, because you're going to use a lot of energy getting the tattoo, no matter how big or small it is.
What about pain management? Extracurricular or otherwise? You a fan or not a fan?
Not a fan.
Don't take drugs. Don't get drunk.
No, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, what's the most difficult client you've ever had? Have you had one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It might have been recently.
And you can feel free to be as vague as you want, so we don't want to make anyone feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, a bad client, I mean, you can have a number of reasons for a bad client. There's so many reasons. I think the best clients are the ones that work with you and understand that you're putting all your experience onto their body, so they need to trust you.
How do you go about getting the perfect tattoo? If someone's going to ask you for advice, what advice would you give them?
I just say keep it simple. Don't try to think of your tattoo on you. Try to think of the idea of what you want. Let the artist take care of all that.
What about price shopping? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think you should ever do that. I think price should be the last thing on your mind. I would pay $1 million for a tattoo if I had to, you know. But yeah, I think price should be the last thing on your mind. If you want it from that person and they charge that much, that's what you should pay.
What should be the first thing on your mind?
That's a good question. The first thing on your mind, I guess, you know, what artist you're looking to do the job.
Do you feel that patience is important when looking for a tattoo artist?
Absolutely.
How long should you wait? A week?
Oh no, I mean, I think you should wait a year to 2 if you have to, maybe more. Just depends on how long they're booked. It depends on how bad you want to go to that person too.
Have you ever run into trying to get work from an artist, sending him emails, not getting them back? Do you get angry and send angry emails?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and this was before I tattooed, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the right way to go about it?
No, because now I realize that the artist, you know, it's not necessarily them saying, screw this guy or anything like that. It's them not being able to get to it because they're so busy.
Right on. I'm sure, you know. How did you get tattooed by Jeff? People are going to want to know this. Like, how did that motherfucker?
Well, I was at the Boston conference, and he had said at the end of his seminar, if you ever want to get tattooed by me, just say you want a full back dragon.
Which I wrote down, by the way. Yeah. I was like, all right, full back dragon.
All right. So at that time, I said, that's it, I'm getting a full back dragon then. But I never asked him or anything like that. It just kind of came about and just sort of happened.
That's a great lucky experience.
Very lucky, very lucky.
Are you going to get more work when you go out there?
Yes, not this next time. We don't have an appointment set again, but for sure.
Cool. What color?
What color?
What color dragon?
Gold.
Gold?
Yeah, we're doing like a yellow gold dragon.
Well, thanks for talking with us. I know you got to get some dinner, and it was good having you on the show. Any parting words? No? Jeff Norton, Aesthetic Inc. Where's the best place to get in touch with you?
You can go on the website, jeffnortontattoo.com.
All right. And what are you looking to tattoo, in case people want to know?
I want to do big things. I like illustrative things, portraits, anything huge. Anything huge? Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can talk to you again sometime.
My name's Brian Geckle. You can find me online at www.briangeckle.com, and you can check me out on Instagram at Geckerazzi, Geckeratzie.
I saw that you changed Instagram accounts. What was with that?
Well, what had happened was my assistant at the time suggested that we have an Instagram account that was just the name Brian Geckle, which I did agree with. However, it was his responsibility to maintain the account, and I was posting more updated photos of just work and sketches than he was, only because I was able to. I had more access than he did. So, we just decided to kind of delete the one, ask everyone just to kind of switch over because my account started to build more momentum. And luckily the switch worked out. However, we're running into an issue because the domain still exists even though the account's been deleted, so I can't switch Geckerazzi to just Brian Geckle.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what year did you start tattooing?
I started tattooing in 2003, right out of high school. I had a summer job lined up, and after my summer job, I began my apprenticeship.
So coming right out of high school, did you start at was it a traditional apprenticeship? Did you come up with some of your work and talk about it, or? I
pretty much started a traditional apprenticeship. I had a few really rough sketches from high school, nothing even geared towards tattoo really, just more or less, a representation of, possible skill set. It wasn't until I actually started working there that I was, taught the fundamentals on how to approach things with, good composition and, the dynamics that come with tattoo, really.
Awesome. Who did you apprentice under?
His name is Bob Ewing. He's been tattooing for probably 20 years. He's been a shop owner, that whole time. And he's a really good dude, great mentor. And at such a pivotal time in my life, he was a pretty awesome guy to be around, so it was cool.
And where was this?
This was in Lewistown, Pennsylvania, which is a nice small rural town in the middle of nowhere.
And so where are you located now?
Now I am in State College, Pennsylvania, which is where Penn State University is. It's a little bit bigger of a town, but still not, quite city. So it still has that rural atmosphere to it, but there's a little bit more people, which is nice.
And how would you say, is there a lot of tattoo studios there, or are you kind of bringing a new?
There's about 4 studios in State College. I feel like most of them are traditional shops, so I feel like I have something different to bring to the table. And they're all super great guys too. Everyone there, from the 4 different shops, they're all super good at what they do, and have their own notoriety in the traditional world. So
that's great that you guys all get along.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That is the point, really. We're all in this together. So
speaking of being all together, which artists have helped you grow the most?
Well, something that my boss Bob actually taught me was if I wanted to get better, I should get tattooed by somebody better, and just kind of learn from them. So I started collecting from artists that I always looked up to the most. Guy Aitchison for sure was one of them. Sean Sullivan, I've been getting some work recently from Ty McEwen. Matt Driscoll, obviously, right now. I got some work from Joe Capobianco, Juan Salgado, Phil Garcia, who's also at Hope Gallery. Phil Garcia and Phil Young, who's at Hope Gallery. Yep. Phil Garcia is not. He has his own shop, Ink Filler. It's been great, man.
So that's a really impressive list of artists to collect from. There's a lot of people who want to get into collecting. What was your process of getting those appointments? Well,
I'll tell you what, man. It definitely took some time. So I would just say that perseverance is definitely the best way to really lock in with somebody that you really want to get tattooed by. I first initially started contacting Guy when I was 18 years old via email. And, I'm an 18-year-old kid. He's blowing me off like, yeah, sure, kid, everyone else and you, And so I was just, I was persistent. I knew that I wanted him to tattoo me, and I knew that I was going to have to do whatever it took to make it happen. And it took 7 years of email correspondence before finally, we could get together and make it happen. And now, I consider to be a little bit of a regular client with him. I usually go and see him a couple times a year for the past 3 years. And it's definitely opened doors to then get tattooed by other people that are on that similar level, you know. If you're already being taken seriously as a collector, you know, it holds a lot more precedent than, you know, just somebody that's really has no idea how intricate and real the process can be, you know. So it definitely helped out a lot. But yeah, perseverance is the way to go.
Yeah, that's a very awesome coming around, and especially once you get established, the ability and ease to kind of transfer from one artist to another, because they know that you're going to go through it, you're going to be in there for the long run, because and this is one of the things that we talked about, and this is more for the collectors, but the commitment that it takes to the artist, both in travel and time and all of those things. Yeah,
I feel like you know, in the general population, most people like the idea of getting tattooed by these people, but they don't really realize just how big of a project it really can be, you know. Aside from taking in to, you know, travel accommodations and setting up your appointments properly and making sure all that on that end is done, just, you know, how much work it actually takes. You know?
So you talked about kind of setting up appointments. You've been tattooed by a ton of international artists and people from different states. Do you set up all of your appointments at once, or do you do appointment by appointment?
It's a little bit of an organic process, really. You know, once I do take interest in an artist, I'll kind of feel them out, you know, let them know that I am a collector and, you know, I love their work a lot. And more or less just get some basic info from them, you know, ask what their rate is. Sometimes, usually it doesn't matter. I'll ask what their appointment scheduling is like, you know, the process, how to get on their schedule. And it doesn't hurt to sometimes give them, you know, a little bit of your own personal background. Let them know who you've been tattooed by, how serious of a collector you really are, you know, just to let them know that you're dedicated, you know, because I know that I appreciate it when people say that to me, so I feel like they would appreciate it as well.
So you're pretty heavily tattooed. Which spots hurt the most for you?
You know, I wasn't a fan of getting the kneecap tattooed. That was pretty rough. And the sternum was kind of crazy too, the solar plexus area, you know. And just recently I had my throat worked on, which was super painful. It was crazy.
So when you go into getting tattooed by these guys, do you do long sessions or multi-day sessions, or does it kind of determine based on the artist and the tattoo?
It's typically based on the process as far as how we go about our appointment. Right now, the only person I'm really collecting from extensively on a large scale is Guy, and we typically set up a 2-day appointment where the first day will work for maybe 7 to 9 hours, and then the second day is a little bit shorter, you know, 4 to 6, something like that. Seems to be the typical run as of late. Most other artists, you know, depending on where they are and how easily accessible they really are to me, you know, I usually just try and sit as long as I can, make sure that we can get the project done. But I mean, in the industry, as a lot of people know, especially collectors, you know, there's almost no such thing as a one-pass tattoo. It almost always needs a second session. Even if it's, you know, 95% of the way done the first time, it's always good to get back in there and just strengthen a few things up.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that a little bit more. When you're explaining that to clients about second passes, how would you describe that to somebody who might not know a lot about tattooing and why it's important? Usually,
depending on the project, you know, and depending on how many passes to be expected for the piece, I usually like 3 passes on a piece of bio work or something like that, because realistically, the skin can only take so much. You know, it can only take so much trauma. It can only take so much texture and color and just work really before you know, it just kind of turns into hamburger. So you have to take that into account. You also have to take healing into account, which isn't always, you know, 100% success. You know, certain things just happen. You know, the lines blow out, colors fade in certain spots. You know, there might be a subtle inconsistency when getting the work done, and it's just something that needs to be taken into account more than people realize. You know, they expect perfection the first time, and even if the tattoo is executed flawlessly, usually the artist can find somewhere in there that they'd like to just go back in and just kind of tweak it a little bit more, you know, just get a little bit more contrast out of it, you know, something like that.
you did tattoo a girl's armpit in Hell City, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, so
yeah.
I remember seeing her walk by, and I was absolutely blown away. And hopefully I can grab a picture from you of that tattoo. How the hell did she get through it?
You know, surprisingly, her name was Christine, and Christine did very well, actually. I was impressed and surprised by just how well she did. I know that that's an extremely sensitive area, and my hat's off to anybody that can actually sit through it, you know, and deal. And, you know, she did great. It was a 3-hour tattoo, and, you know, she really wasn't showing any signs of actual pain until the last probably 25 minutes. Wow. You know, so yeah, she was a boss. So yeah, it's a tough spot though, it really is. And the skin's super receptive to as far as ink goes. You can almost dance it in there and get it nice and solid and saturated. But it's just hypersensitive, you know, and it makes it tough for a lot of people, you know.
So you've been tattooed both in private studios and at conventions. Is there any pros or cons of either one?
A benefit of getting tattooed at a convention is accessibility. You know, sometimes, like when I got tattooed by Juan Salgado, it was at Hell City, which is obviously more accessible to me than a trip to Puerto Rico. You know, so in that regard, it made it a lot easier to get the work done. However, there's also the chaos factor that comes with getting tattooed at a convention. There's people walking around kind of asking questions. They're excited about what you're getting done, you know, and that energy is good, but at the same time it's a little chaotic, and it can be stressful unless you're already kind of used to that, you know. So that's where the benefit of a private studio comes in. You know that you're going to be in there, probably just you and the artist, maybe a friend comes along or something. You're going to have some nice tranquil music on if you prefer. You know, you can take breaks and stop, and you don't have to worry about the distraction from, 100, passerbys. So it just kind of makes things a little bit easier in that way. But, there's a benefit to both, and there's a disadvantage to both as well. So,
which conventions do you really recommend to up-and-coming artists and for collectors?
Well, I mean, obviously Hell City is a great one. Derb is an excellent businessman in the regard of putting on a show. He really knows what he's doing, and his team also helps out a lot. Adam France has a lot to do with it, and there's a ton of people behind the scenes, but he's the good front man, international shows are a great way to get out there too. I know I had a really good time. I went to Milan this past year, and it was super fun. The people that were just coming through the door were just so dedicated to the art form. It was just on another level how much they really admired the work, and it just felt really good to be that kind of accepted, whereas a lot of times when you go to a show, there's, just some kind of like window shoppers walking around and just people that are there just for the experience, which is also a great thing, but to see everybody super dedicated to just wanting to get tattooed, it was kind of inspiring. But a great way to break into the scene is to just start out wherever you can, get in and meet as many people as possible. Talk to your neighbors, be friendly with everyone. Thank the promoters personally if you can, and good spirits all around. Really is the way to go.
So talking about tattooing as a medium, and it sounds like you really kind of got started right out of the gate at a high school. Did you do other mediums in high school, and do you practice any other mediums currently?
As far as other mediums go, I mean, in high school, definitely we just kind of had to follow the curriculum of the teacher, so there's really not much freedom as far as choosing what medium you want to work in. More or less, you're given a project, and here you go. Since high school, I mean, I still love to paint, so I still paint in acrylics mostly. Starting to get into oils a little bit, but I don't really have any formal education, so I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. I've worked with ceramics before. I always enjoy that. Our house is pretty much well equipped with all homemade pieces, so that's always kind of fun. I still love to just draw pencil and paper too. That's one of my most accessible outlets, basically, as far as if I just feel like being creative at all. You know, you can just pick up a pencil and paper and go. You can stop whenever it's not very messy, or, you know, just close the book. And that's all there is to it. But, you know, I mean, there's always a desire to express that inner emotion, you know, and I feel like as long as you're doing that in some capacity, you're probably doing it right.
Have you done any collaborations in either art or tattoos with any other artists?
I've done a few painting collaborations. I'm currently working on one with the artist GR. I'm not sure of his real name because he's an elusive dude. We're working on an acrylic bio piece together, and that should be fun.
Do you guys just ship it back and forth?
Yeah, we just ship, you know, one person will keep it for a while, switch back off, let the other one work on it. And it's been working, you know, it's fun. I've done a lot of like collaborative sketching with people. I find that to be super fun, and it's easily accessible. You know, you can just pass off your pad. You know, you don't have to worry about too much organization. I haven't done a collaborative tattoo yet. Kurt Windish and I are in the works for getting ourselves a client to, you know, start a piece up, and that should be super fun. He's a bio dude too, so we'll probably work on some bio and have a really good time with it. But collaboration is always a pretty interesting thing, you know. It always seems like you're going to learn from whoever it is you're working with in some capacity, you know. You're going to see something that you're going to kind of throw into your own bag of tricks, you know, and hopefully do the same for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a unique process, and it's a rare opportunity, especially for a collector, if you get the chance to get a collaboration, especially from two heavy hitters, you know, like Guy and Jeff. That's a serious honor, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a learning thing, and that's probably what draws me to it the most, you know.
Is there any artists that you have been really impressed by in the last couple of months?
Oh man, let me think here. I'm trying to think of people that I've recently discovered that I'm really just kind of blown away by. I've been really getting into the dot work scene lately. And unfortunately, I don't know a lot of those guys by name to shout them out, you know. But seeing what some people are coming up with as far as geometric designs go, it's pretty mind blowing, you know. There's already a beautiful aesthetic for the body that comes along with that stuff, and it's always fun to see what new pieces people are coming out with, you know. It's pretty cool. You know, usually it's once I meet an artist and I get to talking with them, I feel like it's always a reflection of them that I really can dig on, you know, and then the work follows, you know.
So you're currently traveling here at Off the Map Tattoo. Where are you heading after this?
After this, I'm going down to Forest Shore in Connecticut. It's in Stamford, and I'll be hanging out there for a couple days, and then from there I'm actually going to see Sean Sullivan to get some work done. We're going to work on a project that we've had in the works for the past couple of years now. And then after that, I'm going to go to Ascend Gallery and hang out with Josh Payne and his crew for a couple of days. So I'll be on the road for the next week and a half, just kind of cruising around and hopefully picking up some fun pieces.
Cool, man. Any travel plans outside of kind of the Northeast?
Well, I've been talking in the works for the potential for going to the show in China at the end of the month. That's still a little tentative. We'll see what happens there. I plan on doing Hell City, Phoenix, you know, which is definitely a West Coast show. And it was super fun last year, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. Other than that, you know, I'm just pretty much kind of keeping an ear out. If anything piques the interest, I'm definitely going to give it a try.
So you're getting tattooed by Matt Driscoll. And you tattooed him as well. What drew you to collecting a piece from Matt?
Well, you know, Matt's a great artist. He might be a little goofy.
Very goofy.
Especially goofy looking. Super, no. He's
usually the ugliest tattooist you know.
Matt's a handsome man.
Thanks, man.
No, you know what? Ironically enough, the last time I was here, I tattooed Matt in the exact same location that he's tattooing me. And the exact same subject matter, no less. So this is kind of a unique exchange between he and I.
Suck change. I know how bad that hurt.
Yeah.
Or now I do know.
So yeah, it's about to get real. We'll see what happens. But I hear he's gentle, or at least he's told me that he's gentle. And
so he tells the ladies too.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably not the not the truth, but that's all right. I'm already in it, so it's too late anyways, right? But, no, Matt's an outstanding artist. He has a few catchphrase work types. What were they?
Real school.
Real school.
And then actually relational I got from this guy.
Do you prefer to draw on your client or prefer to set up a stencil and be a little bit more planned out? How's your process going?
Personally, as far as prep time goes, I like prep time. Whenever it comes to on-the-fly design, there's almost a stress factor that I don't really enjoy. You know, I enjoy an in-person consultation. I feel like that's good. You get a vibe for the person and their idea, and they can kind of have some input while you're just throwing down some thumbnails. But yeah, I do like prep time, and I feel like it's kind of important for me to really get a really good grasp on the concept and maybe thread on a few different ideas, and some of them I might not even like at first, you know. But I feel like it's that process that helps me get to a good point, you know. I need that time for troubleshooting, basically. And it seems to work to my advantage most of the time, you know. Clients are always pretty receptive to what I've done, which is great. You know, there's a huge trust factor on their part that I always appreciate. But I feel like it's a reflection of the work that I put in to then show them a nice product, you know.
Yeah, developing trust with clients and making them feel comfortable is really incredible. And we watched Watson Atkinson, who was guest spotting here a little while ago, and we'll probably catch up with him later, but he really discussed managing a client's pain and seeing it really quickly that, hey, they're uncomfortable, and then diffusing the situation. And,
yeah, of course.
And that kind of communication with a person, you know, whether they're a collector or they're a newbie and it's their first tattoo, I think is super important. And
you know, learning to basically cater and sense someone's pain threshold is a huge part of our job, really, and it takes time to cultivate that skill. You know, you can kind of get these signals as to where you can tell somebody's kind of hurting a little bit more, you know, so you can maybe focus on a different area, or just kind of be like, you know, hey, it's all right, a couple more minutes here and then we'll move on. Yeah, that's definitely an important factor for sure, is understanding just how important it is to really cater to somebody, you know. And at the end of the day, you're really, as far as the trust factor goes, you know, whenever you're selling a tattoo to somebody or discussing an idea with them, you're basically discussing your trust. You know, it's articulating your ideas in a way that you're assuring your client that they're going to get what they want and it's going to be something nice. You know, and at the end of the day, that's really what's most important.
What do you do for music in your studio? Do you take what the client's looking for, or do you just play your own jams?
You know, Matt and I were just talking about music selection earlier, actually. I'll typically ask my clients what they like, what they don't like, and the typical response is anything but country. So that leaves, you know, a pretty broad spectrum of music to go from. You know, luckily I have a pretty large catalog of music to choose from. Usually when I'm working, I like something that's a little bit more ambient. Just like a progressive beat, you know, little to no words. You know, that's seems to be something that is easy to talk over. You know, if you do use coils still, it kind of can go along with like the droning of the machine. You know, it's just sort of like a subtle background noise, and that seems to be the nicest for just putting someone at ease too. You know, listening to something super hard and super heavy and kind of just chaotic at a time when, you know, it's already painful and a little chaotic internally. You know, maybe you're gonna create a situation or an atmosphere that isn't really desirable to be in no matter what, let alone getting tattooed, which is already kind of uncomfortable. But aside from that, you know, a little bit of anything else too, just as long as it's good, really. You know, and you know, it's important that the client is enjoying whatever it is as well. You know, because they have to be comfortable at the end of the day, you know. It's the difference between a 3-hour tattoo and a 5-hour tattoo, you know, is your client's comfortability. One
last question. What machine do you use?
As far as machines go, I use a little bit of coils and rotary. I've been using a Bishop for probably 2 or 3 years now, and I love it. I use it almost every day. I picked up an Amoeba recently, and that's a great machine, man. That guy's awesome, Chris DeWitt. He builds some phenomenal machines. I just picked up the Hawk, and I've only had the chance to use it once so far, but I really enjoyed it. I plan to use it again. And aside from that, I use an FK iron, coils, you know, and it's a great machine as well.
So, that will conclude everything, man. Thank you very much for taking the time to catch up.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah.
Hi, my name is Gary Shepard. I'm one of the owners here at Addictive Nature Tattoo Studio. I met with one of the reps at the Pacific Ink and Art Expo out in Hawaii. That's when I actually got hooked up with a lot more of the product. I started using it, being able to actually notice more what it does during the tattoo procedure. We all have noticed the same thing, that the redness and the swelling goes out of the tattoo, that while you're doing color or white, the highlights and the colors actually are a lot brighter after the tattoo procedure. And basically we've all said the same thing, that it's a real good product to use during the tattoo procedure and after.
Hey, I'm Matt from TattooNOW. I work as the production manager and engineer for Off the Map Live. I handle the production management for the websites through TattooNOW and any technical questions that people might have. If you get a website with us, you'll be talking with me. I'll work as the point of contact between us or you and me and the design team and programmer. I'm here to recap the last couple of weeks of network news. We had some great updates from a number of things, so I'll be kind of running through those. The first is the release of Bob Tyrrells' DVD. It's going for $99, and it is a one-of-a-kind viewing experience. So if you get yourself a copy of the DVD, what you'll also get is emailed a ticket to the webinar. This is the live 11-hour webinar that Bob did that we edited from to make the DVD. So it's kind of a great hand-in-hand package. You'll get to see what people were asking in the chat room, and it kind of gives you a teaser of what it's like to participate in a live webinar. So if you're on the fence about doing a webinar, this is a great experience to kind of get the best of both worlds. It's also Bob's first DVD, so stay tuned on that. The next thing that I want to talk about is that Off the Map Northwest had Tony Moore from The Walking Dead visiting. He's been getting a full bodysuit from Jeff. He's gotten the majority of his back shaded in line, so it's really great to see his processes going, but again, it's going to be about another, well, at Jeff's pace, maybe a year until we see some more of these completed back pieces, but it's been fantastic to see the growth in that. The other highlight that came through was Off the Map Italy. They did a YouTube video that highlighted a bunch of the guest artists going through as well as the residents. So if you're curious about what's going on in Italy or you're looking for a shop to guest spot, it's definitely a good friendly area. We have a bunch of artists going through. The next one up is going to be Matt Stebley, who is currently at the Rome convention. If you follow his Instagram, he's been showing a couple of pictures from the area and kind of how that convention's going. Other guest stars include Jeff Norton, who you recently heard from, as well as Jose Gonzalez from Madrid, who's a really great realism artist and won Tattoo of the Day a couple of times. So if you refer back to the other videos, you can see that. The other news that's coming up is the Chrome and Ink convention. Johnny Smith, who's a resident at the Northwest shop, recently did the postering for that, and it's really cool. It's definitely Johnny's style. He's been really making a big push with doing posters and other things for the companies in the industry, so it's neat to see how he's spread out like that. The other person who's going to be there from TattooNOW is Josh Sokoza. He'll be actually teaching Bloodborne Pathogens class, and Johnny Smith will also be teaching a realism class. So you can find more details on the Chrome and Ink website or either of those artists' websites. The last bit of news is Shane Baker out of Powerline Tattoo in Rhode Island is doing a benefit for a sick child. He's trying to raise money to help out with paying off the medical expenses for this young child who has a small intestine issue, but it is life-threatening and it kind of sucks. So if you're looking to help out with that, you can find out more information on the Powerline website. We are a big fan of charitable events, and we try and do one once a year, and we'll be announcing the next one in August. Any studios can sign up to join, and it's great because we send out a bunch of documents that can be used to utilize and maximize your businesses and really help out with things outside of that. This includes press releases and organizing media and local media, and usually the artists and the studios get a good amount of attention from their local press due to these events. So again, if you're looking for more information, you can sign up for our newsletter on TattooNOW or subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll be up to date with all of our news. Yeah, this has been TattooNOW Network News with Matt O'Brien.